Have you ever been betrayed by your family? The betrayal of a family member you trust with all your heart can be more painful than you can imagine. I, too, was betrayed by my brother, whom I loved dearly, and decided on a revenge. What would be the end of the brotherly love between me and my brother? My brother ran away with my fiancée right before our wedding. 10 years later, their son was sick and needed a donor. My organ was a match. Minutes after my brother and my ex were overjoyed, they blew up in anger. I'm Mike. This is a bit sudden, but I was betrayed by a family member I loved dearly a few years ago. Recently, I was able to take my years-long revenge. So could you listen to my story today? I'll explain it in order. At that time, I had just become a senior in college and had never had a girlfriend. Or rather, I wasn't very interested in women. I enjoyed hanging out with my male friends, and I liked my alone time. So I never really wanted a girlfriend. One day, during my ordinary days, something happened. After finishing my day's lectures, I was heading to my club activity. For your information, I was a member of the film study club. Our activity was just watching movies. After lectures, we would just watch movies. For me, who loved watching movies, this was bliss. When I arrived at our activity space, it was noisier than usual. Most people who join the film club are movie enthusiasts. It's taboo to make noise in the room because it disturbs people watching the movie. It was quite rare for the club members to be so lively that you could hear them outside the room. I peeked into the room. It seemed like they were gathered in one spot, chatting. I was a bit hesitated to enter, but as I was watching, one of them noticed me and came running over.
Hey, you're late, Mike.
He's John. He's usually a bit of a joker, but an unmatched movie lover. And he's in the same film club as me. Normally, me and John spend a lot of time together, and we even go to watch movies together on our days off. So we're pretty close. Sorry, my lecture ran a bit long. But why is everyone so excited?
Did you forget? I told you yesterday that today is the welcome party for the new students. The new freshmen who are joining our film club are here.
Did you say that? But why are they so excited?
That's because a big shot has arrived. Look over there.
I looked where John was pointing. In the center, surrounded by club members, was a female student. Why is that girl surrounded like that?
Don't you know? She's popular throughout the school for being cute. She loves movies too and joined our club. Lucky you, Mike.
Why me? I'm not interested in that stuff.
Don't say that, man. You should really get a girlfriend soon. I'm seriously worried.
You have no reason to worry about me. As we were arguing, the welcome party for the new students began. The new freshmen in the film club started introducing themselves one by one. The girl who was popular among everyone was named Emily. It's no problem for a movie lover to join this club, but there was one thing I was concerned about. It was that the club members had completely fallen for Emily. I don't care who likes who, but the club members started making a fuss around Emily every time she comes. I like spending my time watching movies quietly. Suddenly, the club became an uncomfortable place for me. Since then, I hardly showed up to the club anymore. John, perhaps out of concern for me, also stopped showing up to the club. Instead of going to the club, after lectures we rent movies and watched them together at home. It was a shame we couldn't go to the club anymore, but watching movies with John wasn't too bad either. One day, after continuing this lifestyle for a while, John's lecture was running long that day, so I decided to head to the rental shop by myself first. What should I rent today? As I was thinking, someone suddenly called out to me from behind.
Excuse me, Mike.
When I turned around, Emily was standing there. Unlike the other club members, I had never spoken to Emily before. I was surprised not only that she approached me, but also that she knew my name. Do you need something from me?
Mike, you haven't been coming to the club recently, so I was wondering what happened. I thought maybe it was because I was being too noisy, and I felt really sorry.
Emily apologized sincerely to me. I quickly told Emily not to worry about it. No, it's not something you should apologize for, Emily. It's just the club members making noise on their own.
Mike, thank you. Actually, I've been worried lately.
Emily said that the film club had turned into a lawless place. Everyone was all about Emily, ignoring the movies. Emily joined because she loved movies, but with the situation turning out like this and me not showing up to the club anymore, she felt it was quite bad.
I joined the film club because I love movies, so it's a bit disappointing that we can't watch movies properly.
Emily looked genuinely disappointed and was looking down. Hey, I've been watching movies at home with John recently. Emily, would you want to join us? Emily quickly looked up at my invitation.
Really?
Emily seemed more pleased than I expected, which made me hesitate for a moment, but I contacted John.
Great job.
John replied immediately. From then on, the three of us would gather after lectures every day to watch movies. It became our daily routine. I always had the impression that Emily was always surrounded by boys and hanging out, but that was a misunderstanding on my part. She was actually a very quiet and serious girl. I truly felt sorry for having a bad first impression and thinking she was not my type. As I spent more time with Emily, I found myself drawn to her. John noticed this and secretly helped out in various ways. After a while, I gathered my courage and confessed to Emily. She cried with joy. And that's how our relationship started. John was as happy for us as if it were his own happiness.
To think you'd get a girlfriend. I'm about to cry tears of joy.
That's one unnecessary comment, but thanks.
Make sure to tell your brother. He was so worried about you that he even came to me to ask about your situation.
I have an older brother, 3 years older than me. Since we were little, my brother was always clinging to me, taking great care of me. I loved my brother dearly. My brother and I could talk about anything, and of course, my friends got along well with my brother, and I got along well with my brother's friends. I intended to tell my brother about Emily. Of course, my brother and I were living together in a shared house since I entered college. Since we always watched movies at John's place, my brother had yet to meet Emily. As soon as I got home, I told my brother about Emily. Bro, I got a girlfriend. As I said that, my brother dropped what he was holding and stood with his mouth open. What an old-fashioned way to be surprised. Then, pretending to cry, he said,
My little Mike has got a girlfriend. I'm about to cry tears of joy.
My brother was genuinely happy. And from then on, all he talked about was Emily.
Bring her over next time. Let me worship your girlfriend.
What do you mean worship? Well, I'll bring her over when our schedules match. Later, I coordinated with Emily and invited her to our house. My brother, being a friendly type, quickly got along well with her. From then on, Emily often came over to our house, and we started going out together, including my brother. Sometimes we'd even invite John, and we all had fun together. I was really happy during these times, and I thought it was truly great to be in a relationship with someone like Emily. As I was living this fulfilling life, I graduated from college. I landed a job at a major local company, and John got a job in another state. It was a bit lonely not being able to see each other easily, but it's not like we couldn't keep in touch. We wished each other the best and parted ways. Emily seemed lonely since the close-knit group we had suddenly graduated. That's when I moved on to a plan I had been preparing a little before graduation. Emily, I've got a job locally, but with overtime and all, we might not be able to meet as often. But you're important to me, and I want us to always be together. Will you marry me after you graduate from college? I said this and presented Emily with an engagement ring. She seemed very happy. Emily and I got engaged and started living our separate lives. Life as a working adult was much tougher than I had imagined. There was so much to learn, and I was quickly thrown into days filled with overtime. As expected, it was hard to match schedules with Emily, who was still a college student, and the frequency of our meetings dramatically decreased. I want to learn the ropes quickly for Emily's sake, to secure even a little time to meet. With that single-minded thought, I threw myself into work every day. Thanks to that, my performance improved rapidly, and I was able to meet my quotas early on, even as a newcomer. I was praised by my boss, and my salary increased accordingly. I came to love this job where the effort I put in directly returned to me. One day, after working hard as usual and returning home, Emily was there.
Welcome back, Mike. I haven't seen you in so long, so I decided to come over. But you weren't home yet, so your brother let me in.
It had been a really long time since I saw Emily, and I was happy she came to visit. Sorry I haven't been able to make time recently. Let's go out somewhere on my next day off. It's been a while.
Really? Yeah, I'm so happy. If it's okay with you, Mike. Can I come over again at night? Even a little time together gives me strength. Your brother said it was okay too.
Of course, I'm happy every time you come over.
Great. Then I'll see you tomorrow.
After that, Emily started coming to my house almost every day. In the midst of my busy work life, seeing Emily even for a little while became my solace. 3 years into living this way, with Emily's college graduation about half a year away, I started preparing for our marriage. I looked into it, and there was a lot to do to get married. Looking for a new place to live together, going to preview wedding rings. I need to pick up a marriage registration form, too. It costs a lot to get married, but this is what I've been saving up for. I talked with my brother and John about this, steadily making preparations. I was truly enjoying this time and felt happy. I was excited thinking about the near future. I never imagined that an incident that would shatter my happy daily life was about to occur. I had no idea at the time. I think it was about 4 months before Emily's college graduation. Emily had been coming to see me almost every day, but around that time, she started to leave quickly after only a few words whenever I got home. At first, I thought it was my imagination, but it continued. Even I started to feel something was off with Emily. Did I do something to upset Emily? But then, why would she bother coming to my house? With my limited experience in love, I couldn't come up with an answer. After Emily left, my brother went to take a bath, so I decided to wait for him to come out and consult with him while watching TV in the living room. I picked up the smartphone that rang with a message notification and read the displayed message. The sender was Emily.
Mike came back too early today. I wanted to spend more time with you. I'll come earlier tomorrow, so wait for me.
I was shocked as I read the message. The smartphone I was holding was my brother's, and the content of Emily's message clearly indicated she was having an affair with my brother. My brother and I happened to use the same model of smartphone, and fittingly for brothers, even our ringtone settings were the same. That turned out to be my downfall, as I caught evidence of the affair by looking at my brother's smartphone. I couldn't believe that my brother, who had always seemed to care so much about me, would make a move on my fiancée. I locked myself in my room and talked with John about this. John couldn't believe my brother's actions either, and suggested I should confront him directly. According to my brother's messages, Emily was planning to come over again tomorrow. I'll finish work early tomorrow and confront the both of them. With that resolution, I went to sleep. I couldn't focus at work the next day at all. Thoughts of my brother and Emily dominated my mind, and I kept making typos and errors in the documents I was working on. Somehow, I managed to get through the day's work and came home earlier than usual. Sure enough, Emily was there again today, and I didn't miss the slight shadow that crossed her face at my unexpectedly early return.
Welcome back, Mike. You're early today.
Yeah, there's something I need to ask you two. Us. Is something wrong? While my brother was in the bath yesterday, I accidentally saw his smartphone. What's this about? Saying that, I showed them a photo of Emily's message from yesterday. I had taken it with my phone's camera as evidence for this conversation. As soon as they saw the photo, both of their faces turned pale. It seemed there was no mistake that the two were having an affair. Why? We're engaged, aren't we? Emily, you were happy about it, right? When I said that, Emily raised her voice in defiance.
It's all your fault, Mike. You neglected me. At first, I was really lonely and came here wanting to see you. But your brother was kind to me, feeling sorry for me. He was much kinder than you, Mike, and he always put me first. I don't want to marry you, Mike. I want to marry your brother.
Saying that, Emily took off the engagement ring I had given her and threw it at me. Seeing Emily's behavior, my brother, who had been silent until then, spoke up.
I think you are to blame for this, Mike. Emily looked really lonely being neglected by you. You can't make Emily happy, but I want to, and I can.
Betrayed by my brother, whom I had trusted with all my heart, my mind went blank. All this time, you've been supporting me and Emily, haven't you? You've been giving me advice on various things. Was all that a lie?
It wasn't a lie, but I just can't hand Emily over to you. You can have this house. I'll take care of the paperwork.
Saying that, my brother packed up the bare minimum of his belongings and left the house with Emily. A few days later, I received a notification that the house's lease had been transferred to my name. I contacted John and asked him to come over on his day off. When I opened up about everything that had happened, John was very worried about me and got angry for me. I was so mentally drained that I didn't even have the energy to be angry. Friends told me I could claim damages for the broken engagement due to the affair, but honestly, I didn't want to see those two ever again. I felt like seeing them again would completely break me. Considering my mental state, John respected my decision. With John's help, I canceled the lease on the house and moved to a new place. I ruthlessly threw away the personal belongings my brother had left behind. I felt bad for making John come from another state to help, but he worried about me and visited me on his days off. Truly, friends are what you need. I believe that from the bottom of my heart. Since then, I've become completely phobic of women and reverted back to my old lifestyle. It's been almost 2 years since that incident. The wounds in my heart haven't healed quickly, but I've been cherishing the time with my friends and starting to regain my ordinary daily life. One day, I received a call from my parents' house. I only visit my parents' house occasionally on holidays, and we hardly have any communications otherwise. I wonder if something happened. I answered the call, but I would deeply regret it. The person on the other end was my brother.
Hello, Mike. It's been a while. How have you been?
What do you want, traitor?
Actually, I have something I want to discuss with you. Can you come to our parents' house now?
I refused, of course, but it seemed there was something they wanted to discuss with the whole family. It appeared to be important, and my parents also urged me to come. So I reluctantly headed to my parents' house. My parents' house is near mine, so I arrived quickly. As I headed to the living room, there were my parents, my brother, and also Emily. Even though it had been about 2 years since the two of them betrayed me and ran away, seeing them still brought on headaches and nausea. Ignoring how I felt, the two of them pleaded with me for something desperately.
Please, Mike, help us out.
I didn't understand what my brother was talking about and turned to look at my parents.
Your brother's child was born with a bad liver. It's a very dangerous situation, and surgery is needed immediately.
So they got married and even have a kid now. I had no idea.
Both Emily and I have been tested for compatibility, but we weren't matches. We're planning to have mom and dad tested too. Please, Mike, would you get tested for compatibility?
Mike, please, save our child.
They betrayed me 2 years ago, and now they dare to ask me for help. I refuse. I have no obligation to do such a thing for you two.
Don't say that. Come on. We're brothers, right? Help us out.
And which one of us betrayed that brotherhood first? It seemed our parents didn't know about what had happened between us. They were confused by our argument, not understanding what was going on.
I don't know what you're talking about, but both of you calm down. Mike, why don't you just take the test? We won't know anything until you get tested.
Persuaded by my parents, I agreed to at least take the compatibility test. I reported the incident to John right away.
Really? How can they have the audacity to ask now? And not even a single apology. They're just thinking about themselves.
Even if their results come back compatible, I have no intention of helping them. Their child has nothing to do with me.
If that's what you think is best, Mike, actually, I've got an idea.
After that, John and I discussed his suggestion and got excited about the topic. Later, the test results arrived at my home, and once again we gathered at my parents' house. The results had come in separate envelopes for my parents and me, so we each opened our own to check the results. Dad, not compatible. Mom, not compatible. I also checked the contents of my envelope, and I was disappointed to see the results. My test results were compatible with my brother and Emily's child. Seeing that, the two of them got overly excited and started celebrating.
Great, now he can be saved.
Yay, our son will surely get better now.
Without even waiting for my response, they started discussing the transplant surgery as if it was a given.
Mike, the surgery is on this date. Make sure you take good care of that liver.
Yeah, Mike, the value of your liver is now like a national treasure. We need you to protect it.
Watching the two of them laugh together, I really felt nauseous. For these two, I was nothing more than a liver for their son. I'm sorry, but who said anything about having surgery? The room went silent at my words. I have no intention of undergoing the transplant surgery.
What are you talking about, Mike?
Why would you say something like that?
I'm wondering why you two would naturally turn to me for help. Do you really think I, who was betrayed by you two, would give up my liver for your child? You really live in a fantasy world. It's impressive.
Mike, don't say that. What exactly happened between you and your bruh?
I explained everything to my parents. How I had been betrayed by my brother and Emily, whom I had trusted with all my heart. And how, after disappearing, they conveniently reappeared before me when they needed something.
So it's like that. But the child that was born is innocent. Maybe you should reconsider and help out. That's right. Our child hasn't done anything wrong.
Mike, please, give us your liver.
All they talk about is liver. I was fed up with these two. Sure, the child that was born is innocent. Honestly, I do feel sorry for him.
So you give us your liver.
I really do feel sorry for him for being born to you two. If he wasn't your child, I would have gladly undergone the surgery. But unfortunately, I hate both you and Emily so much that I don't even want to see your faces anymore. And your child naturally falls into the category of things I hate. That's obvious, right? At my words, Emily was in a state of shock. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't care what happens to your child. I won't undergo the transplant surgery. At my final words, Emily began to scream wildly. My brother also, with tears in his eyes, clung to my feet.
Mike, please, I'm begging you. Give us your liver.
I shook my brother off and slammed the document on the table. If you want it so badly, I'll give you this. My brother quickly grabbed the document and his face turned pale as he read it. John has a lawyer friend, and after consulting with him, he drew up this document for me. The document I presented was a claim for damages against my brother and Emily. The suggestion John had made earlier was exactly this.
How about you give them this instead of your liver? Wouldn't that be cool?
No, it's not really cool. And it's been 2 years already, right? Isn't it too late to claim damages now?
Mike, there's something called a statute of limitations in the world. I believe in cases like this, the statute for claiming damages for infidelity starts from the time it's discovered, which should be 3 years.
How do you know stuff like that?
I have a lawyer friend. I'll consult him for you. It's better to settle these things properly before moving on.
Thanks to John's thoughtful arrangement, I got the lawyer involved. My brother was stunned by the claim for damages, and both he and Emily blew up in anger. I'm done dealing with such people. So that's the deal. Make sure you pay by the due date. Otherwise, it'll turn into a lawsuit.
Wait, Mike, please, I'm really in trouble here.
Do you really think you did something wrong?
I do. That's why I'm asking.
Is that so? And yet, not a single apology. I understand how you two feel. Good luck finding a donor, then.
I'm sorry, so please, give us your liver.
I forcefully removed my persistently clinging brother and left the house. I felt a bit bad for the innocent child. But even so, I was finally able to carry out my revenge after 2 years. It felt like a cloud that had been hanging over my heart had cleared. When I reported this to John,
congratulations.
He offered me words of celebration. I've really been helped by him all along. Next time, I'll visit John and take him out for drinks on me. A few months later, I received an update from my parents. My brother and Emily successfully found a donor for their son, and the surgery was a success. Their son managed to pull through. However, the surgery for their son was major, and they were billed a huge amount for it. With the payment of damages to me included, it seems they've ended up with a significant amount of debt. Struggling to make ends meet due to the payments, they are now living with my parents. It seems like they're just working day and night to pay off the debt, essentially just leaving their son in my parents' care. They deserve to go through that much trouble. I did feel bad for their son, but I hope he grows up healthy from now on. I still don't have a girlfriend. I'm fed up with such things for a while. Instead, I've been going out for drinks with John and living a fulfilling life. Maybe I'll meet someone nice eventually. For now, I want to cherish the time with John, who has supported me through all this. Thanks for listening to me until the end. Thus, Mike was able to exact his revenge on his brother and Emily, who betrayed him after 2 years. The wound from being betrayed by his brother and fiancée, whom he trusted with all his heart, must have been very deep. Without a supportive friend, he might still be living at rock bottom. It's important to build and maintain relationships where you can trust and support each other no matter what. How did you feel about this story? I'd be happy if you could share your farts, whether you empathized or were surprised, in the comments. Thank you for watching until the end. Your support means a lot. so please like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.